So last night I was given the opportunity to go to a Shrek musical, free of charge, donated tickets with a friend of mine. And it was a really nice experience. I'm not used to having special things like that to go to. I'm usually very frugal, let's say, with my money. But it was a great opportunity to go. And after I left there and I got home, I realized that my wallet had fallen out of my backpack. And I was automatically went into a panic. And for those of you who know me, know that I have to work through this area for myself, even though there's a security and we are okay financially. There has always been this part of me that has been very tightly holding on, afraid of this and that, and anything to do with monetary. There's been a grip there because we grew up not with a lot of money and different things like that in our home. So we had learned to be very cautious with our money and not spend, not buy new, different things like that. I'm not going to get into all of that. But I mean, anyways, there has been different lessons that I've been faced with the last number of months, especially starting last fall. There was a shift in different things, and just like buying and selling online, I was running into complications. And then in December, I lost access to Marketplace, which was my sole way of really making an income, because I have been working through bodily things in my system, which has prevented me from actually being able to commit to an actual job, among other things. And so my initial thing was to panic. And what I had learned, what I've been learning, because I've been dealing with a highly regulated, dysregulated nervous system, even though spiritually and emotionally I've been doing, I should say more spiritually, and emotionally, because the two are kind of connected, but all in that area, I have been doing a lot of shifting, not because it has been easy. 2025 was one of the most difficult years I've had to go through, stuff that was coming through my nervous system, different situations that escalated things. But yet at the same time, I was feeling very, very deeply connected. Like a shift has been changing the last couple years in my learning to just emotionally and spiritually starting to shift better, more clear than ever before. But yet my physical body processing through trauma and different things that I've held and stuffed into my nervous system that I didn't realize that I had done ever since I was a child. It's all been coming through my nervous system like crazy the past year. And I didn't understand, and I knew that I needed to make the shift. And I'm still making that shift, but I'm determined to make that shift. But that is not the point of this video. The point of this video is that one of the areas that I have been noticing that I need to make a shift is in fear. And fear of finances, fear of, stuff like that. Even things that I don't even have to fear financially. It's like you fear the things that could happen or might happen. And it was like Spirit has been telling, God or universe or my heart or whatever word that works best for you to understand what I mean, is that it was saying it's time to shift out of this fear pattern. Now, I'm still working through it, but at the end of December, as I said, I lost access to Marketplace because of some kind of a weird thing. They were spamming, not spamming, but red flagging stuff that was called Adidas and saying that I was taking copyright and stuff like that. It's like, that's the brand name of the product. But anyways, won't get into all of that. But it was like, okay, I can't resolve it with Marketplace. And I lost it, and I still lost it. And it's like, that's my main, and it was a panic, and that had to revert to just Kijiji, which you don't get nothing on there. Anyways, all that to say, that was a big shift for me. because my biggest thing was to go into a panic. What am I going to do? This is my way of contributing to the family and blah, blah, blah. And it was like, okay, I have to shift through that and let it go. So that was the first really biggest one. It's like, okay, you have been learning all of this stuff. You have been sharing and talking about it. Now here's a really big experience that is here in front of you that normally, okay, you can talk it all you want, but then when the really big one comes for you, it's like I would normally spiral and then get back on top of it after I spiraled for quite some time in fear and panic and trying to control it. But so much happened last year that it was like, you can't control. you can't control an outcome. You know, and my theme became for last year and into this year is to let go of the need to control outcomes and trust in the process of life. And that is what I have been doing in regards to trying to shift that in that particular area. So then today, or yesterday, last night, I go to the theater and I lost my wallet. Tons of gift cards in there, and all my credit cards, and my debit card, and all of that just whew. And my first thing was panic. And then it was a reminder again, it's easy to choose peace when things are going relatively okay, or in small doses of fear or panic. But when the bigger root issues get targeted, I have always found it very hard to apply what I know here and here into the actual circumstance. And last night, I was able to finally find that shift again in that area. And I'm like, I can't control this. If it is what it is and I can't change it, I've done all the best to try to locate it. It was not turning up. And I actually made the shift. And I felt, again, Spirit was just saying, let go. You can't fix this by worrying about it. And so I actually went to bed last night with a sense of peace, which started off as panic. Normally, it's going to take a few days or maybe longer to work through that. And last night I was able to shift through it before I actually went to bed, and I only got home at 10 o'clock at night. So for me to be able to let go of that, now the knot was still there in my gut. So as soon as if I would allow my thoughts to go there, yes, I could easily spiral back down. And I'm like, no, I am going to learn to trust the process. And even if it doesn't show up, then I'm going to trust that that wallet fell into the hands of someone who maybe really needed it. And I was hoping for maybe a homeless person that could really use it, you know, because I didn't know where it went. And the Capitol Theater couldn't find it, nothing. I got that confirmation today. So when I called again, and I was hoping, oh no, it have to have rolled under my seat. I know exactly, my purse was unzippered. It would have had to, it could have only fallen in this location. It was the only place I had it unopened. And it wasn't there. And the initial thing was panic again. And I was like, catch that, catch the thoughts, catch the spiral, catch the emotion right now before this. And again, I reminded myself, it's okay. Maybe this is meant to be to help again, to just help release that fear and learn to let go in the midst of chaos, not just when it's easier. And I was strangely able to make that shift again and find peace in it. It was the most beautiful thing. And even though I could feel the chaos in my gut, I had a peace on me today. And I've never experienced this before. Those who know me know that there is a deep-rooted thing in there in regards to that issue in my life. And I am just down here connecting with Spirit again, and I'm like, I'm just trusting. It's just, things are going to be okay. And if it's not the fact of okay that I get it back in my possession, like I canceled all my credit cards today and everything. It was a done deal for me. And just still a peace to just trust. And as I was just down here connecting with spirit again, and does not my husband come down? It's at the end of the day, so we're at supper out. It's 5:30. He comes down and he shows me this, my wallet. And the whole time it was in my bag in an outside compartment that looked too small to fit this thick wallet. So I remember thinking that it was too thick to fit in there when I put it in there. And initially tried to put it in the big compartment that was stuffed in with something else. And I thought when I took that other thing out last night that must have fell out. And it was dark in the theater, so I didn't notice. And I remember when getting home, there's no sense of even looking in that outside pocket because it's not going to be there because it wouldn't fit in there. I wouldn't have put it in there. But that was the thought that I had when I first initially had rethought it. And I had put it in there, but I forgot that I had already had that conversation in my head. Those of you know I've been also working on improving my memory. Anyways, the whole time it was in there. And I don't want to call it a test because it kind of sometimes has a negative thing, and I don't want to call it a test, but it was a learning experience. And it was an opportunity for me to shift through. And today I made the shift. I mean, not to the point where there wasn't any of that strong emotion still in my gut. But I really made it for the first time in my life like that. Other than the marketplace thing, yes, that was a big one too. But this one was a bit harder in other aspects because it involved a lot as well in a tangible way versus marketplace is something that is, okay, it's a big source of income. That was a big one too, actually. But this one was just a different form of it because it was a tangible thing that I'm like, all my credit cards, all my, a bunch of my gift cards, all of my other stuff is in here. There was cash in there, there was different things. And anyways, I did it. And I'm really excited. I mean, I still know that there's a lot of layers still in this topic that I need to work through. But I really was able to push through something big for me in the past, I'll say the past day, but it hasn't even been 24 hours yet. But just finding that peace. And normally the worst part of the storm is the first few days or the first day, the initial thing. And I was able to find a sense of peace in that. So I'm really excited. If you watched all this, please comment. Sometimes it's just nice to know I spent this big long ramble. I'd like to know if somebody actually listened and is excited with me because I'm excited. But anyways, I wanted to share that with you. And thank you for listening if you did. And if not, that's okay too. But if you did, I hope it inspired you sometimes to just let go. And whether or not we actually get the this type of a thing, I had gotten to the point where I had accepted that I may not ever see this again. And I would be okay with it and trust that it got into the hands of someone who could use it a lot more than me. But I still felt there was a big, deep spiritual lesson in all of this. And I'm just really thankful today that sometimes the fear doesn't help us find it. It just makes the turmoil inside of us a lot worse. And because I've been dealing with a highly wired nervous system and so on, I have to learn to not allow those spirals to happen because my body is processing through a lot of stuff where I have to be very careful where I go, what I do, and different things because I'm trying to heal. One thing to know stuff here and emotionally in the heart, there can be a lot of changes, but sometimes when you're working through a lot of stuff, for many years, it starts, if you don't deal with it emotionally or your thoughts, and then it moves to the emotions, and then after, if it's undealt with for years, in my case it was like in 40 something years, it started moving into the body. And so now I'm trying to shift the old out and in with the new and try to allow the body to know that it's safe. And there's different ways of doing that. I've explored a lot of different ways and a lot of different things, but now I'm trying to shift it here and pay attention to my body and hear it and say, okay, you're starting to get into that state. You need to let go. let go, let go. Not just say it, but actually practice it when I'm starting to feel it. And so I'm just really excited today. So I wanted to share that with you. And anyways, I'm excited. I'm just so excited. So I'm very thankful. Take care. And I hope you guys have a wonderful evening and year ahead. Okay, take care. Bye.